Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Professor Ram Kumasch?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for being late. We have
no problem, but you need to enable me share the screen. It says that host has disabled screen sharing, so you have to let me allow screen share.
Yeah, I will let you to shading the screen.
Yeah, but it's not letting me, GÖRSEL. It says host has disabled. You have disabled me sharing the screen. You have to enable me to share the screen. Hello? GÖRSEL, are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
You need to disable, enable me sharing.
We will make it. Okay. You are. Yes, we are hearing you. Okay.
Yeah. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Welcome to 10th of Fiber and Polymer Research Symposium. We will hold the 5th season of this symposium, which titled is Composite. Sorry for being late. We have a little bit technical problem. So let's start with our invited speaker, who is Professor Ram Kumasch. He will make a presentation about a speech. He will make a speech on sustainable and advanced industrial fabrics. Before starting, I want to introduce the Professor Ram Kumasch. He is a He is a full professor in the Department of Environmental Toxicology at Texas Tech University. His research focuses on developing value-added materials using nonwoven and nanotechnology. He supervises the Nonwoven and Advanced Materials Laboratory at TTU. He currently holds 2 US patents and US pending applications. And he will make his speech on, again, sustainable and industrial fabrics. Professor Ram Kumasch, the floor is yours. You can start. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. And good evening to you, everybody there. And good morning here. First, let me extend my congratulations to the team of friends from Turkey in organizing the 10th International Fibers and Polymers Research Symposium. And a special thanks to Professor Ali Damir, Professor Yusuf Ulkay, whom I know for a long time, more than 23 years now. And also to Mr. GÖRSEL. This is the first time I have met him virtually, but he had been kind to respond to my emails. Thank you, sir. With that introduction, I'm going to quickly jump onto the presentation I've been asked to do as an invited speaker. First, it's a humbling experience as well as an honor to participate in the forum, where leading academics from Turkey, budding scientists like GÖRSEL from Turkey, eminent speakers from Czech Republic, I guess Belgium and United States are all participating. So thank you again. So what am I going to talk? I'm going to talk about a thing which is very relevant now for the textile sector. And Turkey is a giant in the textile sector. So we chose a topic that would be of some interest, and it would kindle some interest in applied research among fellow scientists and academics. This work was predominantly done by my graduate student, Vineet Kumar Singh. Now he has become a manager, global manager at Gladfelter, an international company in the nonwovens and technical textiles. With that, what we are going to talk is going to be of immediate interest to the textile industry, where the industry is moving. The industry, first and foremost, particularly with what we are facing now on the volatility and the cost issues in cotton. Turkey is one of the leading producers of cotton textiles, so as India. So it is creating a lot of heartache among the textile industry people on the volatility we are facing with cotton. But cotton is very important textile fiber because it is very important for sustainability and can we develop cost-effective products. And if the price of the raw material is skyrocketing, how do you manage this situation? That is what we are going to do here. As long as you develop a cost-effective product that finds advanced application, you could manage the cost of raw material. And that by doing so, we are exploring new markets. So what are the applications we can target with textile materials, particularly fibers? Two major things. This has come loud and clear after COVID-19 that nobody had ever thought that textiles will be a talk on the kitchen table, whether it's United States or Turkey or India or Bangladesh. Nobody thought that textile materials such as face masks, PPE, surgical gowns, drapes, and wipes would occupy a kitchen table discussion on everyday talk shows around the world. Some support it, some don't support it, but still on par with things like economy, on par with things like cancer, on par with things like mRNA vaccine, because textile materials can do two things. That two advanced textile materials can do two things. One, it is going to enhance human health. Prior to the availability, widespread availability of vaccine, guess what? Which saved the world? It's a simple face mask that saved the world. Nobody would have thought. People working in textiles or people working in nonwovens would have never thought that this situation will come. There we go. For 3 years in a row, textile materials have been saving life. And the second thing is protect the environment. Why this is important? Because while we are discussing too much on COVID-19, rightfully so, another thing we should not miss is the global warming. So in 2015, according to Paris Agreement, 196 countries signed on to make sure that the global temperature doesn't rise above 1.5 degrees or 2 degrees centigrade. 1.5 may be a tall order to reach. So that's very important. And textile, being a heavy manufacturing based industry, has a significant role to play. And then second thing is textile also consumes energy, different forms of energy. So there are a lot of things textile industry can do. And if the products, what we develop, like great companies like Sabansi and other things develop in manufacture in Turkey, if we could focus on two things, the textile materials, I'm not saying that we should ignore fiber to fashion supply chain. That is the bedrock of the textile industry. But we have to work beyond the commodity and beyond the regular conventional fiber to fashion supply chain. And we have to focus on two products. Two products, it's a broad range. I'm just giving a category. One, textile products that will enhance human health. And then the textile products and textile processes that can save the environment. That's what we are going to talk. And what is the situation? Why we are talking about sustainability? I'll take you a thing, an aspect which is again in prominence, which is again in broadsheet newspapers, which is again in the bigger news circle, is the microplastic issues in ocean. This is the typical wipe, typical synthetic-based melt-blown web people are using because it is cost-effective and the raw material is available in plenty, which is nothing but polyolefin. So this is the situation. But then this leads to a lot of microfiber pollution in the ocean. So what is the relevance of sustainability? I'm going to tackle this subject from an environmental point of view. The current widely used melt-blown synthetic webs lead to, not all, but majority of them lead to microfibrils, and that will lead to pollutions, and that will lead to, and there are more and more medical scientists are finding these debris not only in the ocean, but also in human fecal material and human tissues as well. So this is the situation. So what is the issue? Microplastic issue. Can we take a textile material which is sustainable and then replace this synthetic absorbent wipes? Why these are used? These are used in the ocean as well as in pipelines, oil pipelines, where there is a oil spill, particularly crude oil spill. And over the year, crude oil is found to be carcinogenic. So a lot of implications. So I'm going to tackle the two subjects, environmental remediation, protecting the environment, as well as saving human life. And that is the reason I have particularly chosen this product, sustainable oil absorbent material, aimed to replace synthetic material. I'm very careful. I'm not saying we are going to totally replace. We are aiming. That is what academics and researchers do. So the relevance of sustainability is take the issue of microplastic pollution in the ocean that has catastrophic effects on the environment as well as human health over the long time. Can we develop sustainable advanced textiles? Yes. So this is the question. Like we do every research, I have listened to presentations by the colleagues. Of course, I am very ignorant with the Turkish language, but it's so rhyming and beautiful. But I could glean from the slide that this is what it is. Every research presenter had an hypothesis. So my hypothesis here is, can we develop sustainable, but at the same time advanced textiles, right? So if you are developing an advanced textile that could save the environment and also improve human life, consumers are not worried about the cost because it is tackling two major issues. So I'm going to give you an example and a case point, and then I will also try to do demonstration if time permits. Now, this is the situation. Right after 2010, when the Deep Horizon spill occurred in Louisiana coast in the United States, people were scrambling to find solution. By the time people were trying to find solutions such as booms and other materials, already 4.2 million gallons of crude has been spilled in the ocean. So it is not only in the ocean. When it gets spilled in the ocean, it has a lot of ramification, economic ramification, social ramifications, and so on and so forth. So this is the cause. The cause is human health as well as economy. So a lot of techniques they tried, booms, skimmers, and my work predominantly, our work. So I charged Ram Kumasch Singh, who went on to climb on the ladder in the industry now, asked him to come up with a sorbent, but that sorbent should not lead to microplastic pollution in the ocean. That is very important. So that's what we did. So I'm going to show you the results. So oil sorbents, we are trying to explore different types of oil sorbents, natural materials, polymers. Of course, the industry is well aware of melt-blown synthetic sorbents. So I'm not touching that. And then other processed materials. So, and the result was so good that it got published in major magazines such as American Chemical Society's Industrial and Chemical Engineering Research and so on and so forth. So I'm going to present this result. Crude oil, two things. We are normally used to using simulants because we are all lab scale scientists, but we were able to use crude, real crude, Texas crude, and I'll show you the results how cotton-based material. So we are replacing the synthetic melt-blown, and we are using cotton-based material. That too, we are minimizing the cost of the raw material because we are using a specific type of cotton which do not find plenty of use in the regular fiber to fashion commodity sign. So if people want to know more about it, I have given reference to the article. So to investigate the sorption, how this oil, that too, we are not talking about your cooking oil, grandma cooks using the peanut oil or using the corn oil. I'm not talking about that. We are talking about the crude oil. So that's what it is. And we have chosen very specific cotton. This year, if you know, Texas is one of the world's largest cotton producing region in the world, and Texas Tech is a leading university. Many Turkish friends would know Texas Tech is the leading university working on cotton because we are centrally located in a continuous cotton patch, 100 square miles of continuous cotton production, non-stop cotton production. So, and cotton is a natural material, so it is heavily dependent on water and environment. This year, it is a severe drought. When you have severe drought, the planting season is May in United States. It's just a perennial, it's just an annual crop. So it's for 3 months. So if you don't get rain in spring, we didn't get rain in spring. Only yesterday we had some drizzle here. So it's going to be a drought. When it is going to be a drought, cotton will not mature. If cotton will not mature, it is not going to find friendliness, acceptance in the cotton sector. So that type of cotton is known as low microner cotton. That is more immature cotton. So we are using a low microner or immature cotton. And this is one of the first results to show that there are also positive value-added applications. Whereas low mature cotton doesn't find that much good use in a regular denim making, in a regular fashion industry. Whereas low microner cotton can find advanced application. What I said, we are trying to target advanced application, at the same time trying to use the sustainable material. Of course, cotton is a sustainable material. And then if you are able to reduce the cost of the raw material, we are using discounted cotton because low microner cotton is an immature cotton. So textile industry will only pay less for it. So that is the thing. So for 20 years, if you take the analysis, 20% of cotton produced in Texas fall under low microner cotton. For the in the interest of time, I'm not dwelling in detail. You can see 20% of cotton falls into the category of low microner or discount cotton. So we are using this. We are using a Texas crude oil, and the details are given even. And then I'm going to show how this cotton, normally when we know cotton, we are very much aware of the tissue or cotton, Turkish towel. Of course, it's a Turkey towel we all use for bathing. So when we are using the Turkish towel, it absorbs water. But our interest is to take a sustainable material which will not absorb water, but it will absorb oil. So oil and water are totally North Pole, South Pole. They don't talk to each other. They don't like each other. Okay, there's a phase separation. So what is the situation? Normally people are used to absorbent cotton, which will sink in water because normal cotton absorbs water. So it will sink. Whereas if it absorbs normal cotton, the cotton what we are looking should not absorb water. It should separate oil and water. That is what we are going to show. And I hope this video works. You can see on one side we have an absorbent cotton. That is a regular cotton. When we put that in the water, it sinks because it absorbs. Whereas on the other side, if you take a raw cotton, that is a low microner cotton, it will not sink in water and it will float. That's what we need. So, but it should absorb oil. Now I have proved that the low microner cotton will not sink. That is what we need because the oil comes on the surface of the ocean because of its density. So the material which we are putting to absorb should not sink. That I have proven. Now I have to establish one factor I proved, that if you take a low microner cotton, it is not going to absorb water. That is what we needed. And then it should only absorb oil. Now I have to prove results showing that it will not sink, which I have shown you by demo, but it will only absorb oil. That's what I'm going to do. And this is the method we did. Again, I'm trying to use some video. So this is a typical non-absorbent cotton. So this is a typical non-absorbent non-water absorbent cotton. And then we take a handful of that cotton, which is based on ASTM method, and then we measure the weight of the cotton and then put it in oil. When you put it in oil, I'll show you the demonstration. When you put it in the oil, what did I say? This should not sink, but it should simply float. Just kindly watch the video. You will see this. Instantaneously, it will soak up oil. You can see that it is not sinking. It instantaneously soaks up the oil and it will hold up to 30 to 50 grams. Each gram of cotton will hold anywhere from 30 to 50 grams. That is, it will hold 30 to 50 times of its weight. So I'm going to show you results. We have proven this. And I'm going to show you. So I have taken different types of cotton. So the lower the number, the more immature it is. So 3.1 is a immature cotton. That is discounted cotton. And 4.4, 4.5, 4.6 are those regular cotton which are loved very much by the textile industry. 3.4 and above are good cotton, particularly in the range of 4.3 to 4.4. And that is the cotton. So I need to show you that 3.1 absorbs more crude oil compared to 4.6, whereas 4.4, 4.5, 4.6 are perfectly mature cotton, which the textile industry uses. The textile industry is not favorable to any cotton less than 3.4. So for us, we need to show that 3.1 is good because 3.1, any cotton is sustainable. 3.1 is less. Even if you are able to save a penny in cotton, the textile industry will make jackpot now. Okay, so that's what it is. You can see this. So the immaturity ratio is more. I showed you 3.1. 3.1 has high immaturity. When it is highly immature, what happens? The cotton will not take dye. If the cotton doesn't take color, fashion industry won't like it. Whereas the immaturity content of a regular cotton is not that much compared to 3.1, 3.2. So that I have proven. So this is a typical example. I have put this in the American Chemical Society journal. You are welcome to see. And I now have to show you that 3.1 immature cotton performs better in absorbing the oil compared to 4.1. That you can clearly see that each gram of 3.1 cotton absorbs about 36 grams, that is 1:36, whereas 4.6, 4.1 will only absorb 10 gram less. Imagine 10 gram is big time in terms of oil absorption. So this pattern is clearly, when the cotton is immature, it may not be suited for the regular fiber to fashion textile industry, whereas these can find advanced application. So our lab was the first one to show that cotton can go beyond fiber to fashion supply chain and find application which will protect environment. Of course, it is protecting environment because first and foremost, it is absorbing the spill of the oil. And if you are not absorbing the spill of the oil using sustainable material, it is going to lead to secondary contamination. If you are using a synthetic material, it will absorb the oil, no doubt about it, but it is going to leave microplastic pollution in the oceans. This microplastic pollution concept was not there a decade ago. So that's why the industry was not focusing attention, but this is coming into play now. Microplastic pollution, protecting environment and saving human lives. So this is what happens now. Higher the maturity, the absorption is less. You can see this. When the maturity ratio is, when the fineness of the cotton, it's opposite. When this is regarding the surface area, I'll go to the next slide showing this is the result. So what is the result? So why this higher mature, the absorption is less? Because 4.1, 4.2, 4.5, all those cottons absorb less, 10 gram less. Lower the maturity or higher the immaturity, the absorption is more, 10 grams more. What is the mechanism? So we used environmental scanning microscope, and one of the first images on real crude oil. There are a lot of work done on synthetic oil, motor oil, and cooking oil, kitchen oil, that's all fine. But crude oil, real crude oil, what happens first? The mechanism is adsorption. So the cotton gets absorbed onto the surface and it forms a film. And since low microner cotton are immature, they are much finer. When they are much finer, the surface area is more, so they are able to adsorb, Adam David, AD, adsorb more. While they are adsorbing more because of high surface area, these low microner or immature cotton are relatively porous compared to mature cotton, because if in case of mature cotton, you have more cellulose deposition. So in terms of immature cotton, the cellulose deposition is less. So not only it is adsorbing on the surface, it is spreading on the surface, it also goes into individual fiber. That is very important. And the cotton swells, and cotton serves as a dam. Cotton serves as a reservoir to hold the oil. That you can see. The cotton is a ribbon structure. It swells, it absorbs the oil, it holds, and you can see beautiful bulb. So adsorption and absorption, that is what it is happening. And we have proven not only in terms of crude oil. Of course, when you are proving it with a tough substance, then others should be a jackpot. That's what we are getting it. And this work became internationally cited work, and a lot of major magazines such as Economist from London, Guardian from London, American Chemical Society, they all made podcasts on this. So are these results repeatable? So I told you that we proved with the crude oil can be repeated. Then what we did, we used the ASTM standard, which asks for a motor oil. So we did it with motor oil. And again, in terms of motor oil, the gift odds keeps on giving, more the merrier. What we said in terms of crude oil, each gram of cotton, low microner cotton, absorbs 30 times its weight, 1:30. Whereas if you take the same cotton, 3.1 something, it is able to absorb 50 times. So you take 1 gram of cotton, it will absorb 50 grams. That's again blessing. So this is what we proved. And again, we can show that there is a direct correlation between immaturity and absorption. So when the maturity depends, if your immaturity content is more, the absorption is more. Again, the same phenomena. So we repeated this using the motor oil, which is easy to handle compared to crude oil. Again, the same mechanism. You can see beautiful adsorption and spreading, formation of film. By the time it spreads, individual cotton absorbs, and you can see much better blooming, beautiful blooming spherical images. And this is the reason I told you this one thing like a cow's foot is basically, this is the immature cotton. There is no cellulose deposition. When there is no cellulose deposition, cotton is thinner, cotton is fiber, so you are able to pack more fibers in a given volume. Whereas in the right-hand side, which may be left to you, You can see fine mature cotton with lot of cellulose deposition. That is very important for dye deposition, for dyeing. Whereas for our application, we need immature cotton where the cellulose deposition is less, so that you can pack more fibers in a given area as against regular fiber. Okay, so this is the results, and you can see the same pattern. No matter what type of oil you use, no matter which year cotton you are taking, we have done that with repeated years of cotton. And if the drought situation is more, immature cotton will be more, low microner cotton will be more. When low microner cotton is more, economy will suffer. So this is the results we got, and we have proven this. So if you take a crude oil, the absorption by a low microner or a discounted cotton is 30 times. But if you take other oils, right, it is about 50 grams. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you a demonstration, and that will make the case more interesting. So this is a typical motor oil, okay? And then I'm showing in front of you so that you will believe what I say, and then assume that this is the ocean bed.
Professor
okay?
Ram Kumasch,
Yes.
now we couldn't see your screen. Can you again share the screen, please?
No, I'm showing the demonstration. Are you seeing the demonstration?
No, we couldn't.
Why is that?
Or
are you seeing now?
no, 1 minute.
Maybe you should see me.
Yeah, we are seeing you, but on another screen. Now we are making it the main screen.
Yeah, see in the main screen, because people want to see the video. Are you seeing me?
Okay, we are seeing.
Okay, so I'm going to do the demonstration. Give me 5 minutes, because this is very important. So this is a typical motor oil. And assume that, are you seeing GÖRSEL? This is the typical motor oil, and this is, imagine that this is, are you seeing now? And imagine that this is a ocean, clear water ocean. Are you seeing now?
Yes, we are. We are.
This is good. Now, this is the oil, motor oil.
Okay.
Okay. And then this is the, assume that this is the ocean bed with water.
Okay.
Now, I am pouring oil.
Okay.
You seeing this?
Yeah.
And then because of density, oil will float on the top. Oil will not sink.
Okay.
So I am taking an ordinary paper, which is nothing but a cellulose material. Because this cellulose material will absorb water, it will sink. That is not what we needed. You can see that it is sinking quickly.
Okay.
Whereas I'm pouring more oil, and then I'm taking a cotton, which I told you, low microner cotton. You can see it is not bleached cotton, so it is dull in color. Okay, in front of your eyes, I'm showing this. I have shown the signs, absorption, and data. Now I'm going to show you how it works in a real time. What was the topic? Is sustainable advanced products. This is cotton in front of you. Okay, I'm putting it, no magic. I'm even shaking. Whereas you see, it is not sinking.
Okay.
And then I'm taking it. Look, it will drip water. You can see the oil.
Yeah.
And you can see the other side, it is dry. Only one side it picks oil, and you can see there is no oil here, mostly gone. This will not be the situation in ordinary cotton. I can use the same thing, put it again.
One more time.
Still not sinking. You can see totally removed. Water will drip, only oil will stay. You can see the color of the oil. Other side is more or less dry. You can see no water has penetrated, only oil. You can see that.
Okay.
Oil is not dripping, only water drips. And you can see how clear the water is. See?
Okay.
Still, I folded it. So and if you make it heavy, technically its gravity is more, so it should sink, still not sinking.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. Very nice presentation, demonstration.
And I also publish a newsletter, which I will show you.
Mhm.
And if anybody is interested, I write a lot of snippets, what is going on around the world. It's called Tech Snips. If anybody is interested to get this, please email to me as s.ramkumar@ttu.edu, and I will be happy to include you in that distribution list.
I'm sure they will. Thank you so much. Your informative and fruitful speech, Professor. Thank you so much. Let me ask the audience, is there any question? No, on the online side, do we have any question? I think no. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thanks a bunch. Thank you for hosting me, and my special thanks to the organizers, and good luck.
Thank you. Can we see here? You can see our certificate of appreciation. Thank you so much for your informative presentation, Dr. Professor.
Thank you.
Okay. Select Lab Textile. The next speaker is one of the sponsor of the 10th UFAS, but I think they are not here. So we can continue another sponsor of the 10th UFAS, Polytex. We are inviting for their valuable presentation.
Öncelikle organizasyona davet ettiğiniz için çok teşekkür ederiz. Kısaca hızlı bir şekilde kendimi tanıtmak istiyorum. Ben Ram Kumasch, Uludağ Üniversitesi Tekstil Mühendisliği mezunuyum. Daha sonra Pamukkale Tekstil Mühendisliği'nde, Pamukkale Üniversitesi Tekstil Mühendisliği yüksek lisans eğitimini tamamladım. Şu an Polytex Ar-Ge Merkezi'nde proje geliştirme şefi olarak çalışıyorum. Yaklaşık 7 yıldır Polytex'teyim. Aslında Taşdelen Grup 1986 yılında Bursa'da kuruldu ve grup firması altında Polytex, Taşdelen Tekstil ve Sintaş firmalarını barındırmakta. Sintaş 2007 yılında bobin boya üzerine kurulan bir firma. Yaklaşık 8.000 metrekare ve 400 ton ay bütünlü boyalı iplik üretme kapasitesine sahip. Taşdelen Tekstil ise 1997 yılında kuruldu. Burada yaklaşık 300 ton ay dokuma işlemi gerçekleştirmekteyiz. Polytex ise 1986 yılında Bursa Demirtaş Organize Sanayi Bölgesi'nde kurulmuş ve sentetik üretim yapan bir firma. Aslında Polytex polyester üretim konusunda ciddi manada uzmanlaşmış bir firma. Yaklaşık 700 çalışanımız mevcut. Satışımızın %30'u ihracat ve 33 ülkeye ihracat yapmaktayız. Üretim kapasitemiz yaklaşık 1000 ton FDE, 1500 ton foil, 1500 ton DTY ve 300 ton ise AJT olarak belirtebiliriz. Sertifikalarımız ise ISO 9001, 2005, Ecotex ve GRS Recycle sertifikalarımız mevcut. 2017 yılında Sanayi Bakanlığı tarafından onaylanarak Ar-Ge merkezi olduk. Şu an firma bünyesinde Ar-Ge merkezinde 24 adet mühendisimiz var. Birçok yurt içi ve yurt dışı ortaklık projeler geliştirmekteyiz. Avrupa ve Türkiye'de farklı firma ve üniversitelerle destekli projeler gerçekleştiriyoruz. Polytex Türkiye'de ciddi manada aslında ilklerin firması diyebiliriz. Hemen hemen polyester tarafında Türkiye'de pek çok ipliği geliştirme konusunda ilklere adım attı ve kesinlikle bu konuda da hala daha devam etmekteyiz. Bu konuda uzmanlığımızı gösteriyoruz aslında. Politex bünyesinde üretim işletmesi, tekstüre işletmesi, büküm ve teknik tekstil işletmemiz bulunmakta. 16 adet koy üretim makinesi, 12 adet FDE üretim makinesi ve 1 adet komponent üretim makinemiz bulunmakta. Tekstüre tarafında ise 6 farklı yapıda 29 adet tekstüre iplik makinemiz mevcut. 1 adet de pilot tekstüre makinemiz var. Büküm işletmesinde ise 6 adet büküm makinesi ve 41 adet büküm makinemiz var. Teknik tekstil tarafında ise 6 adet hava tekstüre makinemiz, 4 adet ise çekimli makinesi, drone winder dediğimiz makineler ve aktarma makinelerimiz bulunuyor. Politex bünyesinde 2 adet laboratuvarımız mevcut. Bir tanesi Ar-Ge merkezinde bulunan laboratuvarımız, Ar-Ge laboratuvarımız ve üretim tarafında analizlerimizi yapmış olduğumuz laboratuvar. Halihazırda bünyemizde sentetik tarafında yapılabilecek tüm testleri kendimiz yapmaktayız. Bunlar hem fiziksel testler hem de termal karakterizasyon testleri diyebiliriz. Aslında firmamız markalaşmaya ciddi manada önem veriyor ve bu konuda da sayıca çok fazla markamız bulunmakta. Standart iplikler tarafında yarım ipliklerimiz, cipsten boyalı FD'ye, mikro iplikler ve mat ipliklerimiz. Bununla beraber hava tekstürü, slaplı ipliklerimiz, yüksek elastik özelliğe sahip ipliklerimiz ve parlak ipliklerimiz mevcut. Bunların her biri bir marka altında sergilenmektedir. Fonksiyonel tarafında ise yine ciddi manada çalışmalarımızla beraber ticarileştirilmiş halde ürünlerimiz mevcut. Burada nem kontrolü sağlayan ipliklerimiz, düşük sıcaklıkta boyanabilen polyester iplikler, güç düşür ipliklerimiz, UV dayanımı artırılmış ipliklerimiz, düşük sıcaklık eriyen iplikler, parlaması yüksek ipliklerimiz, halogen dediğimiz içi boş kesit yapıda ipliklerimiz mevcut. Aslında birkaç sene içinde ciddi manada ön plana çıkmış sürdürülebilirlik kavramı bizim firmamızda çok daha öncesinde başlamış bulunmakta. Bu konuyla ilgili olarak da kendi firmamız altında sürdürülebilir süreçleri tasarlıyoruz. Hem zaman tasarrufu, enerji, maliyet ve minimum kimyasal tarafından hem çevreye hem de aslında genel olarak dünyaya olumlu anlamda hizmet ediyoruz. Politex bünyesinde başlatmış olduğumuz sürdürülebilirlikte ürün yaşam döngüsü analizimiz, recycle üretimi yaptığımız için global recycle sertifikamız, bununla beraber kurumsal karbon ayak izimiz ve kurumsal ve sosyal sorumluluk tarafında da sürdürülebilirlik faaliyetlerimize devam ediyoruz. Recycle tarafında biz cips formundan sonraki basamakta yer alıyoruz. Recycle cips formundan cips polimerimizi alıyoruz ve daha sonrasında ipliğimizi final halinde müşterilerimize sunuyoruz. Ama aslında bu sürecin beşikten mezara kısmında tamamında bulunduğumuzu söyleyebiliriz. Bu konuyla ilgili olarak markamızdan bahsedelim kısaca. Polyeco markamız tamamen geri dönüştürülmüş malzemeler kullanarak üretmiş olduğumuz bir polyester iplik markası. Bu biraz önce bahsettiğim gibi biz bu geri dönüşümü ve sürdürülebilirliğin cipsten başlayan kısmında bulunuyoruz. Aslında kısaca bahsedersek geri dönüştürülmüş pet şişeleri tamamen cipse dönüştürdükten sonra finalde recycle olarak polyester iplik üretiyoruz. Markamız altında recycle ham madde kullanarak diğer tüm fonksiyonel özellikleri verebiliyoruz. Hem virgin olarak üretebiliyoruz hem de recycle olarak bu ürünleri piyasaya sürebiliyoruz. Burada tamamen yapmış olduğumuz ürünlerimizin POY'dan FD'ye, tekstüre ve hükümlü imalatların tamamını recycle olarak üretmemiz mevcut. Aynı şekilde farklı pislikleri kullanarak multifonksiyonel özellikler kazandırabiliyoruz. yaklaşık 20 litex'ten 4000 litex'e kadar da üretim range'imiz bulunmakta. Bu sayede aslında standart ham maddeye göre %40 daha az karbondioksit emisyonu, %50 enerji tasarrufu ve %20 de su tasarrufu sağlamış oluyoruz. Bu noktada aslında sürdürülebilir bir firma diyebilmek için gerçek manada bazı kriterlere ve standartlara sahip olmanız gerekiyor. Bunlardan bir tanesi Ökotek standardı, diğeri Global Recycle standardı ve üretmiş olduğunuz ürünlerin yaşam döngüsü analizlerinize sahip olmalısınız ki müşterinize ürününüzü promote ettiğinde karşılıklı güven oluşması gerekiyor, hem de bu konuda gerekli standartları yerinize getirmeniz gerekli. Oleyko tarafında biraz önce bahsettiğim gibi her ürünümüz için Global Recycle sertifikasına sahibiz ve bunu müşteri tarafından satışı gerçekleştiğinde ise Transaction Certificate'de PG sertifikası her sevkiyatta müşteriler tarafından gönderilmekte ve bu şekilde kontrol altına alıyoruz. Ocean Line markamız aslında cipsten boyalı ipliklerimizin markası, biraz önce bahsettiğim gibi. Bu noktada standart boyama adımları hem bobin boya olsun hem de bizden sonraki kısımda kumaş boya tarafında 2 basamaklı gerçekleştiriliyor. Bizim üretimlerimizde ise tek basamaklı, üretim sırasında Master Batch formunda erikten boyama gerçekleştiriyoruz. Avantajlar ciddi manada fazla bizim tarafta. Renklendirme için herhangi bir sıvı veya su kullanmıyoruz. Yüksek renk haslıkları elde ediyoruz. Daha iyi renk tasarımları, esnek üretim ve daha derin ve haslıkları yüksek renkler elde etmek mümkün. Burada yaklaşık şu an 260 adet renk seçeneğimiz mevcut. Tabii bu sürekli hem aynı rengin açık ve koyu tonu da üretilebilirken farklı renk seçenekleri de mevcut. Bu tamamen müşteri isteğiyle aslında doğru orantılı. Bu noktada sürdürülebilir tarafında 1 kilogram polyester üretmek için aslında hem normal standart boyama için hem de erikten boyama için ciddi manada kaynaklara ihtiyaç var. Erikten boyama tarafında biraz önce de söylediğim gibi Master Batch tarafından üretim sırasında polimer içerisine eklenerek finalde ipliği elde etmiş oluyoruz. Bu proses boyunca 48 watt bölü saat enerji, yaklaşık 1 ila 25 gram boyar madde ya da pigment kullanıyoruz. Ciddi manada da bir su tasarrufu mevcut. Çünkü bizim prosesimiz aslında susuz bir proses. Herhangi bir su kaynağına ihtiyacımız bulunmuyor. Ama bobin boyama tarafında ise yaklaşık 1380 watt saat enerji, 65 gram maksimum boyar madde ve yaklaşık 18 litre suya ihtiyacımız var. Bu da erikten boyamayla bobin boyama işlemini kıyasladığımızda yaklaşık %100 bir enerji tasarrufu, %98 su tasarrufu ve 25 ila 65 gram kimyasal tasarrufuna net olarak ortaya çıkarıyor 1 kilogram polyester boyamak için. Bu konuyla ilgili yapmış olduğumuz önemli çalışmalardan bir tanesi de EİTİM markamızın altında bulunan düşük sıcaklıkta boyanabilen polyester iplik projemizdi ve ticarileştirdik bu projeyi. Normalde bilindiği gibi standart polyester 130 santigrat derecede yüksek sıcaklıkta boyanabiliyor. Ama bizim geliştirmiş olduğumuz ipliklerimizde ise bunu 95 santigrat derecede atmosferik olarak boyamak mümkün. Hem bu sayede düşük enerji tasarrufu ve daha kısa işlem süreleri ortaya çıkıyor ve bu sayede işte banyo sayınızı artırmış oluyorsunuz ve standart kapasitenizin de üzerine çıkmış oluyorsunuz. Aşağıda net olarak görünmüyor olabilir ama burada standart konvansiyonel kesin 130 santigrat derecede boyanması ve bizim üretmiş olduğumuz düşük sıcaklıkta boyanabilir polyester ipliğimizin 102 santigrat derecedeki boyamalarının sonuçları, spektrofotometre sonuçları da birbirinin aynısı. Ar-Ge merkezi olarak çok farklı çalışma alanımız ciddi manada kurulduktan sonra artış gösterdi. Hem ev tekstili, teknik tekstil, outdoor uygulamaları, savunma sanayi, giyim, kompozit malzemeler, otomotiv, tekstilli, biyomalzemeler ve medikal alanlarda çalışmalarımız mevcut. Hem bunlar kendi içimizde yürüttüğümüz çalışmalar hem de hem sanayi hem de üniversitelerle beraber çalışmalar yürütüyoruz Ar-Ge merkezimiz çatısı altında. Bu noktada farklı işbirliklerimiz mevcut. Biraz önce bahsettiğim gibi hem üniversite tarafından çalışmalarımız devam ederken hem de aynı şekilde Ar-Ge merkezi projelerimiz bu şekilde de Avrupa Birliği ve TÜBİTAK'ta yapmış olduğumuz projelerimiz mevcut. Bu projelerde genellikle neler çalışıyoruz? Nano malzemeler, havacılık ve uzay sanayi tarafında enerji verimliliği ve sürdürülebilirlik, endüstriyel simbiyoz, yakın zamanda ciddi manada potansiyelini artıran biyomalzemeler, ülkemizin yeraltı kaynaklarından da yararlanıyoruz. Bu konuyla da ilgili ciddi projelerimiz mevcut. Kompozit malzemeler ve genel olarak sürdürülebilirlik projelerinde Ar-Ge merkezi çatısı altında diğer işbirlik iştirakçilerimizle beraber yürütüyoruz. Teşekkür ediyorum beni dinlediğiniz için. Davetiniz için de tekrardan çok teşekkür ederim. Çok teşekkür ederim. Çok sağ olun.
Okay, the next speaker is Arifuzzaman Khan from Bangladesh. Before giving the floor to Professor Arifuzzaman, I want to introduce shortly him. He is a professor of applied chemistry and chemical engineering at Islamic University, Bangladesh. He received his PhD from Islamic University, Bangladesh at 2013. He has worked as visiting fellow in National Chemical Laboratory in India and Pamukkale University. So we can say him, hoş geldiniz. His research interest in textile engineering covered particularly biofiber processing and sustainable composite development. He has published a number of book chapters, review and research papers in different renowned publishers. So Arifuzzaman, Professor Arifuzzaman, you can start with sharing your screen.
Yes.
Okay. We are waiting your screen.
Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we couldn't see your screen.
Please open the screen sharing option. I can't open the screen share.
Okay, we are waiting. Did you share the screen?
No, I can't.
Okay, we are waiting. What is the problem? Are you ready, Professor?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, it starts. Okay, we are seeing your screen. Okay, and hearing you, you can start, Professor.
Okay, thank you, chair of the session. Now I'm going to present my work. The title is Effect of Okra Bust Filler on the Biodegradation Properties of Polyvinyl Alcohol Composite. So I did this work in Turkey. This is a small part of my work that I carried out at Pamukkale University under the project to BTAC. My mentor is Associate Professor Nazire Deniz Ilmes, also present here, I think. So I'm going to present my work. The presentation outlines. The presentation outlines are disposal problem of plastic products, biodegradable polymer, acro-residual okra bust filler and chemical treatments, composite film preparation, soil degradation of okra bust fiber, reinforced polyvinyl alcohol composite. Before going to main presentation, I am showing a common scenario of a landfill. The landfill mostly,
Professor, we
yes.
couldn't see the change. We only saw, we can only see the first page of your presentation. Can you make full mode, presenter mode? Or you can change your, in that way is also okay.
Okay.
Okay now.
So I should increase
Presenter mode also. You can use the F5. F5 make the mode full screen.
Is it okay?
Okay now. You can continue.
So the presentation outlines are disposal problem of plastic product, biodegradable polymers, agro-residual okra bust fiber and chemical treatments, preparation of composites, and soil degradation of okra bust fiber, reinforced polyvinyl alcohol composites. Before going to my presentation, I am going to show a common scenario of a landfill. The landfill wastage mostly contains some plastic product. Those are compost, and those are contain polyethylene terephthalate, high density polyethylene, low density polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polystyrene, polypropylene, and other resin. So those plastic mainly comes from packaging material. And the pie chart show the packaging material. Approximately 40% wastage comes from packaging product of this plastic product. But the alarming situation is that the plastic product does not degrade fastly. For example, plastic bag can decompose within 20 years. Coffee cup decompose by 30 years. Plastic straw decompose by 200 years. Plastic six-pack plastic ring decompose by 400 years. Plastic water bottle decompose by 450 years, and so on. So this is the alarming for us that the plastic products are not decomposed in the environment, so it causes environment pollution. There is another statistics of American Chemistry Council and National Associate of PET Container Resources that the generation, the growth of plastic product generation increases by every year. Some of them are used for recycling, some are used for energy recovery, but most of them are throwing in landfills. So this causes soil pollution and the other pollution. So we should avoid the use of non-degradable plastic product, and and we should use the biodegradable polymer. Why we use biodegradable polymer? Normally, biodegradable polymer decompose in very short time, and other thing is during production, less carbon dioxide emitted in the environment. So we should use biodegradable polymer. The slide shows some common biodegradable polymer. The biodegradable polymer can be classed by two types. Is natural polymer and the other is synthetic polymer. The natural polymers are come from ketone, alginate, hydrolonic acid, dextrin, and gelatin. But those products are very expensive and the properties are not so good. That's why we should use. It is better to use synthetic polymer. Among the synthetic biodegradable polymer, polyvinyl alcohol is very common and it has some advantages. The advantage of polyvinyl alcohol are non-toxic, water-soluble polymer, is biocompatible, biodegradable, it good chemical resistance, it has good chemical resistance, low cost, and good oxygen barrier property. That's why it can be used in drug delivery, adhesive packaging, heavy metal, ion absorption, and acoustic noise reduction. But the polyvinyl alcohol has some disadvantages too. The mechanical property of the polyvinyl alcohol are not good. It has very poor mechanical property. That's why the polyvinyl alcohol can be used as a matrix of a composite material. The reinforcing material, the addition of reinforcing material can increase the mechanical property of polyvinyl alcohol composite. As a matrix, polyvinyl alcohol has some good property. It has good film forming property, highly polar nature, from numerous positive interactions through hydroxyl group. As it contains some hydroxyl group, the polyvinyl alcohol is hydrophilic nature, and cellulose also has some hydroxyl group, and it's also hydrophilic polymer. That's why the cellulose and polyvinyl alcohol are good compatible for preparing composite materials. So it has great potential for using as a composite material. There are some sources of cellulose material. Normally, the plant fiber contain cellulose, mainly jute, flax, hemp, remi, sisal, pineapple leaf fiber, cotton, coir, okra, corn husk are the common natural fiber that contain high amount of cellulose. Some of the natural fiber as traditional and conventional natural fiber is cultivated commercially, but some of them are comes from agri-residual sources, namely pineapple leaf fiber, coir husk, corn husk, and okra fiber. The use of agro-residual fiber has two benefits. It gives crops and it also gives fibers. So our attention is to use agro-residual fiber instead of some commercial conventional fiber.
Professor Arthur,
Yes.
because of the technical problem, we start this season a little bit late, so we have limited time. If it is possible to make your presentation a little bit faster, to give the time to other speakers.
Okay.
Okay.
So okra fiber is an agro-residual fiber. It has many merits. So I skipped this, but according as like other commercial fiber, it has good properties too. Okra bast fiber has been used for preparing composite with polylactic acid, polyvinyl alcohol, and using some biodegradable polymer like polyvinyl alcohol. Very limited work has been done using Okra bast fiber. Most of the researchers use nanostructure fiber, and they are studied mainly mechanical and thermal properties of composite material. So our target is to compare soil degradation property of composite prepared by Okra fiber collected from upper, middle, and bottom part of fiber to know the effect of fiber chemical treatment on the soil degradation property. Here we show the fiber extraction and treatment part. So fiber are extracted from 3 different parts of Okra plant. We divided the Okra plant into 3 parts: the upper part, middle part, and bottom part. And we rated these 3 parts separately and collected fiber by biological decomposition. And we also treated the fiber using alkali, sodium 10% sodium hydroxide, 0.7% sodium chloride, malic anhydride, and vinyl using vinyl acetate. So the picture shows the water treated Okra fiber. The second one is alkali treated Okra fiber. The malic acid number D is malic anhydride treated Okra fiber, and the E shows the vinyl acetate treated Okra fiber. This is the scanning electron microscopic image of Okra fiber. First one is showing the untreated water rated Okra fiber. This contains some impurities on its surface. Second one is for alkali treated Okra fiber. This shows the clean surface. That means in alkali treatment some impurities washed out from the fiber. The third one is malic anhydride treated Okra fiber. It contains some malic anhydride coating in the surface of Okra fiber. And fourth one is vinyl acetate treated fiber. This also contains some vinyl acetate onto fiber surface. The slide shows the composite preparation part. The fiber are cut into scissor into small pieces, then smashed in mortar. 20% of the fiber used for preparing composite, and 80% polyvinyl alcohol is used. Firstly, polyvinyl alcohol is dissolved in water, then 20% fiber fraction is added, then blended in a beaker with continuous stirring. After homogeneous mixture, the solution was casted in a special type of mold made by wooden mold. Then we put out this solution into mold. After 2 days, we collect this polyvinyl alcohol Okra fiber film by like this film. The composite preparation parameter are showing this table. First one, sample code is for polyvinyl alcohol. Then BD means biological decomposed Okra fiber. 20 means 20% Okra fiber used, and U mean upper part of fiber. And second one is biological decomposed Okra fiber. 20%, 20 means 20%, and M means middle Okra fiber. And L and fourth one is L mean lower part of Okra fiber. A mean alkali treated Okra fiber. M mean malic anhydride treated Okra fiber. V mean vinyl acetate treated Okra fiber. So all of the fiber use 20% fraction, and 80% fraction is used for polyvinyl alcohol. Some characterization techniques are given here. We use scanning electron microscopic technique. We use we measure the tensile properties.
We can pass the characterization part.
Okay,
slide.
okay. So the results are given here. The figure shows the tensile strength of Okra reinforced polyvinyl alcohol composite. The upper figure shows the tensile strength before degradation, and the lower figure shows the loss of degradation, loss of tensile strength after degradation. So we see the polyvinyl alcohol loss very small amount of strength, and the composite shows very high amount of tensile strength losses after degradation. For different type of different portion of fiber, we show upper portion shows lower loss of tensile strength, and bottom part shows the highest loss of tensile strength. For chemical treated fiber composite, we show alkali treated fiber shows lower loss of tensile strength, and vinyl acetate treated fiber shows the highest loss of tensile strength. In case of modulus, we get similar result. The upper portion shows the elasticity of elastic modulus of composite material before degradation, and the lower figure shows the loss of elastic modulus after degradation. We saw the similar loss of elastic modulus for different type of fiber. We shows the upper part shows less loss of tensile modulus, and lower part shows the maximum loss of tensile modulus. And for chemical treated fiber, we show that alkali treated fiber shows lower tensile modulus, and the vinyl acetate treated fibers shows the highest loss of tensile modulus. The discussion is mainly the order of strength and modulus loss for the various portion of Okra fiber. Upper is less than middle, and lower maximum. Lower part of plant fiber contain more extra cellulosic matter, which might be favorable for growth of microorganisms. On the other hand, the previous studies stated that vinyl acetate treatment, the cellulose fiber become hydrophobic nature. Therefore, vinyl acetate treated fiber are less compatible with hydrophilic polyvinyl alcohol. Hence, it gives lowest composite strength, and that could be promoted by degradation of composite. The figure shows the elongation property of composite after degradation. This table shows the degradation elongation property before degradation, and the figure shows the loss of elastic property after degradation. We show that the loss of elongation is highest for polyvinyl alcohol, pure polyvinyl alcohol. On the other hand, the elongation increase after degradation. Before degradation, polyvinyl exhibited very high breaking elongation. Therefore, the loss of elongation is found remarkable after soil Bourrier test. On the other hand, after degradation, ductile property of composite might be improved due to bacterial action. The figure shows the weight loss after degradation. We have seen that the highest loss of weight is found for polyvinyl alcohol sample, and the lower weight loss found for composite sample. Lowest loss of weight found for alkali treated sample. Alkalization led to eliminate the extracellulosic substance from the surface of the fiber, along with enhancing fiber matrix bonding. This may be prohibit the elimination of microorganisms. So we've seen that the different type of fiber shows the different degradation, and the composite tensile strength also and modulus dependent with fiber treatment and the portion, upper portion, lower portion, and middle portion of the fiber. But all the fiber composite are going to degradation after 14 days. So we can say that the composite, the weight and tensile strength property of the composite sample wipe out significantly after 14 days of soil borel test. Those can be considered for utilization in packaging and agricultural application. I am acknowledging TOBITAC Fellowship Program 2221, Department of Textile Industry, Pamukkale University, Turkey, Department of Electronic Chemistry and Chemical Engineering, Islamic University, Bangladesh. Thank you very much.
Thanks you, Professor. Is there any question from the audience? No. So we can show your certificate of participation on the screen. Possible. Thank you. Thank you for your informative presentation, Professor. So we sent you your certification with email. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The next speaker is from Hamad bin Khalifa University, Rima Alasfar. Rima.
Hi, good evening.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Before giving the floor to you, I want to introduce shortly you. Rima Alasfar is a PhD candidate at the Hamad bin Khalifa University. She graduated from Texas A&M University with a bachelor degree in chemical engineering. She has a master's degree in sustainable environment from the University of Hamad bin Khalifa, and now she is in her last year of the PhD program. So I'm giving the word to you, Rima. You can start with sharing your screen.
Thank you very much for this brief introduction. It's an honor today to join the 10th International Fiber and Research Symposium. Today I will be giving a presentation about our research. Let me share the screen.
Okay, we are seeing your screen and hearing you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I'm going to start just to save time. So my presentation is about a quantitative study on the pore morphology for the fabricated polysulfone and polysulfone PVP membranes. The co-author of this work are Dr. Victor and Dr. Muammar. Dr. Victor from the Qatar Environment and Energy Research Institute, and Dr. Muammar, he's from the Division of Sustainable Development, the College of Science and Engineering, Hamad bin Khalifa University. So for the outline, I will start with a brief introduction, followed up by the objective of this research, discuss the methods and the results, and end up finally with the conclusion. So polymeric membranes, they are widely used for different applications, such as in water filtration, including microfiltration, ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, and reverse osmosis. Polymeric membranes, they can also be found in medical application, for example, as scaffolds in bone tissue engineering. And also polymeric membrane, they have application in fuel cells. There are also several other applications, but just to give you some important example of the polymeric membranes application. Now, for these different applications, the polymeric membranes, they are required to have good mechanical strength, stability, and durability, in addition to controllable porosity and filtration functionalities. As a result, characterization of porous membranes is of great importance. porosity, the pore size, and pore size distribution, they are all strongly influence the morphology, the structural features, as well as the mechanical properties. Now, to characterize the morphology of a membrane, microscopy is usually used. We have the scanning electron microscopy and transmission electron microscopy. They are both powerful methods to obtain visual data on the pore size distribution, and porosity. However, to obtain quantitative information about porosity and pore size, there are software available to process the surface as well as the cross-section images in order to study the porous structure of membranes. Now, in this research, the goal or the aim is to study the porosity, the pore size, and pore size distribution for the fabricated pure polysulfone membrane and polysulfone membrane with 3 different loadings of PVP. The membranes in this research, they are fabricated through the phase inversion method, and a quantitative analysis is carried out through image processing of the SEM cross-section images of the membranes using ImageJ software. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first time that a quantitative analysis is carried out for polysulfone PVP membranes with different PVP loadings using ImageJ software to investigate the membrane's pore morphology. So as for the materials for the membrane fabrication, we have the polymer, polysulfone. We have used also 3 different loadings of PVP, 1 weight, 3 weight, and 5 weight%. And the solvent we are using in the phase inversion method is DMA. Just to give you a brief description of the fabrication method, first, polysulfone pellets, they are added to the solvent DMA and left to dissolve for 24 hours on the magnetic stirrer. Also, PVP is added on this step. Before membrane casting, the casting solution is degassed in a water bath at 25 degrees for 30 minutes to remove the air bubbles. The casting solution is then poured into a clean and dry glass plate. The glass plate is immersed into the coagulation bath of deionized water, and after that, the membrane is stored in DI water. So moving on to the results, scanning electron microscopy is usually used to visualize the pore morphology. We have used it to visualize the fabricated pure polysulfone and polysulfone PVP membranes. SEM is a very helpful tool in studying the porosity and pore size distribution of the membranes. We have used liquid nitrogen to obtain the cross-section of the membrane samples before their coating with a 5 nanometer gold layer. As for the pure polysulfone, here we can see the SEM images. The figure to the left, it shows the membrane pores at the top surface of the polysulfone sample, and the figure in the middle, it illustrates the finger-like substructure of the membrane cross-section, whereas the figure to the right, it shows the pores at the enlarged bottom cross-section at 3 micrometer. Now, the cross-section SEM images, they are analyzed using the ImageJ software to obtain a quantitative analysis of the pore morphology. We have randomly selected 3 samples of the membrane for the analysis. Here we are showing the results in figures. We are showing the pore size. These figures, we are showing the pore size distribution for the 3 cross sections. And we can see that the results are consistent for the 3 samples. In the table, you can see the average pore size measured for each cross section, and we can see that they are all within acceptable standard deviation. The average porosity is calculated for these 3 cross section images, and we found that the average porosity is 42% for the pure polysulfone. So for the polysulfone with the PVP, 3 different loadings: the 1 weight%, a 3 weight%, and 5 weight%. Here, you can see the SEM cross-section images for both the 1 weight and 3 weight%. The figure to the left, it shows the cross-section images, and to them in the middle and to the right, you can see we are zooming in at the cross section to view the finger-like substructure and the pores at the bottom large structure. Now, we came to the conclusion that the greater the concentration of PVP, the longer the finger-like substructure, and the bigger the macrovoid membrane's bottom structure. These cross-section images, they were analyzed also using ImageJ software to quantitatively study the pore morphology. And we have found that all reported data are within standard deviation. Here we have done some comparison for the 3 different loadings in terms of the pore size and in terms of porosity. Now, although they are all within standard deviation, we can clearly see that there are more variation for the 1 weight and 5 weight% of PVP, whereas the 3 weight%, it gives us more consistent value for the 3 different randomly selected samples. And therefore we have came to the conclusion that this particular loading gives us a more homogeneous micro structure, which we will also later be using it because we are working on some reinforcement with cellulose nanofiber. So in conclusion, in this study, pure polysulfone membrane and polysulfone PVP membranes with the 3 different loading were fabricated through the phase inversion method. The pore morphology of the membranes were investigated in the study. The SEM images showed that the greater the concentration of PVP, the longer the finger-like substructure, and the bigger the macrovoid membrane's bottom structure. The SEM cross-section images, they were quantitatively analyzed using ImageJ software to determine the pore size distribution, average porosity, and average pore size for all membranes. And all the reported data were within the acceptable standard deviation. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the core labs at Qatar Environment and Energy Research Institute, and where all the experiments were carried out. And we'd like also to thank Qatar Research Leadership Program from the Qatar National Research Fund. Thank you very much for being here and listening to my presentation. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Rima. I have 2 questions to you. Firstly, you use the ImageJ program and SEM images to analyze the pore morphology.
Yes.
Did you verify the results with any analytical method like Prometer and other techniques?
Thank you very much for this interesting question. Actually, we are working on that right now. We are working on 2 different different kind of measurement for the porosity. We're using the porometer. It's now installed recently in our research lab, and also we will be conducting the gravimetric method just to confirm and to compare this kind of method with the ImageJ software. However, we are expecting for sure some variation in terms of the results, because this kind of analytical method is different in terms of analysis compared to the ImageJ measurement.
Okay. The second question, I saw your presentation as slide. You have more pore size and porosity in when the PVP content is 1%. I'm wondering why it is like that. I am normally increasing the PVP content. We are rating larger pore, but
Yes.
You show us on the 1% has the largest one.
You mean in terms of the porosity and the
Yeah.
pore size?
Mm-hmm. The porosity and the pore size are the highest for the 1% PVP.
Yes.
I'm asking the reason why it is like that.
Why it's for 1% it's higher?
Yeah.
Actually, like when we analyze these kind of images, it gives us this kind of results. And also when we are working on some mechanical properties analysis using DMA, we started to see some consistent in terms of the mechanical properties like it is consistent with what we have found in terms of the pore size and porosity measurement. But I see your point, because I have read and also in literature, as we increase the concentration or loading of PVP, we should expect that the porosity and the pore size will be larger, not with the 1 weight %. I see your point. But
Okay.
in our case, this is the conclusion we came up with. Different, like we have selected 3 different randomly samples, and we have repeated that like 3 times. So a total of 9 samples, and we all give us the same results.
Okay, thank you, Rima.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we are seeing your certificate participation. Okay. Okay, we couldn't, but I'm holding your certification, so we will send you. Okay, we can see. Thank you so much, Rima.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, our next and last speaker is Hatice Deveci. Hatice Deveci is Hatice Deveci here?
Merhaba, evet buradayım.
Hatice Hanım Türkiye'den katılıyor. Let me introduce you in Turkish. Kendisi 2021 yılında Eskişehir Teknik Üniversitesi Kimya Bölümünden mezun olmuş ve şu anda Eskişehir Osman Gazi Üniversitesi'nde Polimer Bilim ve Teknolojisi alanında yüksek lisans eğitimine devam etmekte. Hatice Hanım bugün bize Carbon Spares as Catalyst for Hydrogen Generation from Sodium Borohydride Methanolysis başlıklı bir sunum yapacak. Hatice Hanım, fikirlerinizi paylaşarak başlayabilirsiniz.
Görüntüm geliyor mu acaba?
Sesiniz de görüntünüz de geldi.
Tamamdır. Bugün sizlere karbon kürelerini katalizör olarak kullanarak sodyum borhidür metanolizi ile hidrojen üretiminden bahsedeceğim. Artan enerji ihtiyacı ve çevresel problemlerle beraber yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarındaki azalma ve olası enerji krizlerinin oluşması nedeniyle yeni ve sürdürülebilir enerji kaynakları arayışlarına girilmiştir. Bu arayışların sonucunda hidrojen enerjisi ortaya çıkmıştır ve hidrojen enerjisi sürdürülebilir, çevre dostu ve gelecek vadeden bir enerji kaynağı olarak kabul edilmektedir. Son yıllarda fotokataliz, biyokütle dönüşümleri, suyun elektrolizi ve kimyasal hidritler kullanılarak birçok hidrojen üretim reaksiyonu kapsamlı bir şekilde araştırılmıştır. Bu üretim reaksiyonları içerisinde kimyasal hidrürler yüksek hidrojen yoğunlukları, düşük moleküler ağırlıkları ve saf hidrojen gazı açığa çıkarması nedeniyle sürdürülebilir bir hidrojen sistemi kurmuştur. Kimyasal hidritlerin bu özelliği göz önüne alındığında sodyum borhidrürün bu bağlamda hidrojen üretimi için oldukça iyi bir kaynak olduğu görülmektedir. Sodyum borhidrürler düşük sıcaklıklarda hidroliz olurlar ve %11 civarında bir hidrojen içeriğine sahiptirler. Aynı zamanda uygun fiyatlı, zararsız ve alkali çözeltilerde yüksek stabilitelere sahiptirler. Aynı zamanda yan ürünleri de geri dönüştürülebilir. Sodyum borhidrür su ve metanol ile beraber reaksiyon vermektedir. Burada metanol kullanılmasının nedeni düşük sıcaklıklara kadar inilmesi, aynı zamanda da reaksiyon kinetiklerinin metanolde daha iyi olmasıdır. Burada sodyum borhidrürün şematik bir gösterimi yer almaktadır. Burada sodyum borhidrür balon içerisindeki bir reaksiyonda sodyum boridürü kullanarak hidrojen üretimi gerçekleştiriyoruz. Açığa çıkan hidrojen gazı suyla yer değiştiriyor ve burada hidrojeni ölçmeye çalışıyoruz. Bizim bugün yaptığımız çalışmada karbon kürelerini hidrotermal bir yöntemle sentezledik. Hidroksietil selüloz ve saf su kullanarak bir karışım hazırladık. Bu karışımı 10 dakika boyunca karıştırdık. Sonra elde ettiğimiz karışıma fitrik asit ilave ettik ve bir süre daha karıştırdık. Elde ettiğimiz çözeltiyi teflon otoklavların içine alarak 200 santigrat derecelik bir etüve koyduk. Bu etüvde yaklaşık bir gün boyunca bekledi. Bir günün sonunda otoklavımızı aldık ve soğumaya bıraktık. Oluşan karbon kürelerini saf su ile birlikte yaklaşık 2-3 saat arayla 3-4 gün boyunca yıkadık. İyice temizlediğimiz küreleri 1000 RPM'de 10 dakika yaklaşık 3 defa santrifüj yaptık. Elde ettiğimiz ürünleri kuruması için 50 derecelik bir fırına aldık. Bunda da yaklaşık bir gün boyunca bir kuruttuk. Elde ettiğimiz karbon kürelerinin SEM görüntülerini incelediğimizde karbon kürelerinin düzgün ve küresel şekilli olduğunu ve birbiriyle eş boyutlu oldukları görülmektedir. Elde ettiğimiz karbon kürelerinin termal gravimetrik analizini yaptığımızda da karbon kürelerinin hidroksietil selüloza göre daha iyi bir termal stabiliteye sahip olduğunu gördük. Karbon küreleri ve hidroksietil selülozun ana bozulma sıcaklıkları sırasıyla 250 ve 260 derece olarak ölçülmüştür. Bu bozulma 1000 dereceye kadar devam ettirilmiştir ve bu 1000 derecenin sonunda hidroksietil selülozun ağırlıkça yaklaşık %12'si, karbon kürelerinin ise ağırlıkça yaklaşık %51'i kaldığı görülmüştür. Elde ettiğimiz katalizörlerin katalitik performanslarını hidroliz metanoliz yöntemiyle incelediğimizde karbon kürelerinin burada da görüldüğü gibi katalizör olmadan daha yavaş olduğunu, aynı katalizör varken de daha hızlı bir reaksiyona sahip olduğunu gördük. Burada reaksiyon hızları katalizörün kullanılmasıyla artmıştır. Burada yine karbon kürelerimizin katalizör olarak kullandığımız için farklı miktarlarda katalizörleri test ettik hidrojen üretiminde. Burada da katalizör miktarının artmasıyla reaksiyon hızının arttığını, ancak hidrojen üretim oranının da azaldığını gördük. 100 mg'da hidrojen üretim hızı 54 mililitre bölü dakika olarak bulunmuştur. Sodyum boridürün konsantrasyonu değiştirerek yine hidrojen üretimini inceledik. Sodyum boridürün artmasıyla görüldüğü gibi reaksiyon hızının da arttığı, aynı zamanda da hidrojen üretim hızının da arttığı görülmüştür. 250 milimolarlık bir sodyum boridür konsantrasyonuyla hidrojen üretim hızının 75 mililitre bölü dakika olduğu görülmektedir. Yine katalitik performansını sıcaklıkları değiştirerek inceledik hidrojen üretiminde. Burada da sıcaklığın artmasıyla reaksiyon hızının arttığı ve yine hidrojen üretim hızının da bununla beraber arttığı görülmüştür. Karbon küreleriyle katalizlenen metanoliz aktivasyon parametrelerini belirlemek için de farklı sıcaklıklarda grafikler çizilmiş. Bu grafiklerin sonucunda Arrhenius ve Eyring denklemleri kullanılarak hız sabitleri oluşturulmuş. Bu hız sabitleri sonucunda aktivasyon enerjisi, entropi ve entalpi gibi değerleri bulduk. Burada da görüleceği üzere entalpi değerinin 20 kilojül bölü mol, entropi değerinin ise eksi 187 jül bölü mol Kelvin olduğu görülüyor. Aynı zamanda aktivasyon enerjisinde yaklaşık 23 kilojül bölü mol olduğu görülmektedir. Aktivasyon enerjilerini metal oksit katalizörlerle karşılaştırdığımızda Elde ettiğimiz karbon kürelerinin aktivasyon enerjisinin diğer metal oksit katalizörlere göre oldukça iyi olduğu görülmektedir. Burada elde ettiğimiz karbon kürelerini 10 tekrarlı bir kullanımda metanoliz yaptık. Bu metanoliz sonucunda 10. tekrardan sonra aktivitesinin %60'ının %40'ını kaybettiğini gördük. Bu 10 tekrarı yaptıktan sonra elimizde kalan karbon küresini tekrar yıkayıp su ve alkol kullanarak yıkadık. Bunu kuruttuk ve bir günün sonunda tekrar 10 tekrarlı bir kullanımla hidrojen üretimini inceledik. Burada da aktivitesinin yaklaşık %60'ını kaybettiğini gördük. Ama onun dışında iyi bir sonuç elde etmiş olduk. Sonuç olarak da karbon kürelerini başarılı bir şekilde elde ettik ve bunları metanoliz reaksiyonunda katalizör olarak kullandık. Elde ettiğimiz katalizörlerin hidrojen üretim hızını arttırdığını, aynı zamanda süreyi de kısalttığını gördük. Bununla birlikte sıcaklığın artmasıyla hidrojen üretim hızının da arttığını gördük ve 22.96 kilojül bölü mollük bir aktivasyon enerjisi elde etmiş olduk. Dinlediğiniz için teşekkür ederim.
Biz teşekkür ederiz Hatice Hanım. Herhangi bir salondan soru yok. Benim bir sorum var. Bir karbon katalist olarak eklediğiniz miktara bağlı hidrojen üretim miktarı ve hızı, reaksiyon hızı slaytınız vardı. Orada karbon miktarı arttıkça burada
Evet.
25'ten 100'e doğru rate'in azaldığını gösteriyorsunuz.
Evet.
Bu hani katalist miktarı arttıkça rate artmaz mı diye bir soru oluştu kafamda. Onu sormak istedim.
Burada gram başına dakikada üretilen
Yani
hidrojenden
bir sonraki slaytta borohidrat miktarı artınca rate'in arttığını görüyoruz.
Çünkü borohidratın artmasıyla hidrojen üretimi de daha fazla olmuş oluyor. Ama gramajın artması hidrojen üretiminde çok fazla bir etki yapmıyor.
Tamam. Teşekkür ederiz Hatice Hanım güzel sunumunuz için.
Ben teşekkür ederim. Sağ olun.
Şimdi size ekrana teşekkür belgemizi yansıtacağız. Ekranı durdurabilirseniz paylaşın. Tamam geldi şu an. Çok teşekkür ederiz katılımlarınız için.
Ben teşekkür ederim. Çok sağ olun.
Çilekler tekstil şu an yok. O zaman biz bu oturumdaki sunumları bitirmiş olduk. Siz değerli dinleyicilere ve online'daki katılımcılara ve sunum yapan sizlere teşekkür eder. Ve etkinliğimizin Boğaz turuyla devam ettiğini bildirmek isteriz. Yarınki oturumlarda görüşmek dileğiyle der. Oturumu kapatıyoruz. Hepinize teşekkürler.